Last time, we began exploring a scenario where Piccolo was the strongest. A wish from the Dragon Balls helped him win, growing stronger and defeating all the androids, including Cell. But with that great power, what's going to happen as a result of that? Surely with huge power like that, there's going to be some pretty big consequences. And we'll be seeing all that and more in this part 2 of What If Piccolo Was the Strongest. Piccolo and Vegeta stare each other down. Vegeta launches in towards Piccolo, with Piccolo blocking the attack from him. Impressive. Vegeta definitely has grown in strength. And Vegeta questions him, is he going to start taking this seriously? He swings at Piccolo again, and Piccolo quickly throws off his cape, blocking Vegeta's vision as he's then hit by Piccolo's turban. There he goes, he threw off the weighted clothing. Vegeta swats them away and looks around. Piccolo's disappeared. Then he senses Piccolo. Piccolo comes from above, swinging both his arms down at Vegeta, and Vegeta narrowly jumps out of the way, flinging a ki blast over at Piccolo. But he can tell Piccolo still isn't taking this seriously. This isn't the power that he was using before, he's still in his base. But he continues fighting regardless, and Piccolo's able to actually keep up with him. How is this Namekian this strong, even just at his base power? Piccolo's either able to block Vegeta's attacks, parry them, or just dodge them without effort. And Vegeta's starting to get angry. He wants Piccolo to show his full power. He needs to see how he stacks up. He needs to see the true power of Super Vegeta. And Piccolo knows that Vegeta's going to keep asking if he doesn't do it, so he decides to anyways. It's a shame. He actually did want to enjoy this fight, but after he transforms, he knows he's going to win here easily. Vegeta lands a direct hit on Piccolo, a powerful punch right to the face, and Piccolo doesn't even flinch. Vegeta starts rapidly delivering punches, then he jumps back, throwing ki blasts, and Piccolo simply stands there, unfazed. As the smoke clears from all of Vegeta's ki blast, Piccolo's gone once again. Vegeta quickly turns around, but it's already too late. A hand grabs him from behind, as Piccolo lunges his arm forward, stretching it out as he drives Vegeta into the ground. Vegeta's in the dirt below and begins throwing ki blast upwards. Piccolo dodges all of them, flying down towards Vegeta, grabbing him once more, and throwing him upwards. So quickly, in fact, that Vegeta's flung into his own ki blast. And once again, Piccolo vanishes. Vegeta looks around him. He's already getting dizzy, and Piccolo appears in front of him. He punches, and his fist goes right through Piccolo. Then another Piccolo appears right beside him. These are clones. He's surrounded by a couple of Piccolos, fighting him all at once. And the Piccolos get some distance, with each of them charging a ki blast. Vegeta's surrounded. He has nothing to do against them, and all the Piccolos assimilate, going back into the main one. He then moves so quickly that Vegeta can't register it, and Vegeta feels a tap on his shoulder. He looks behind him, with Piccolo's hand stretched out in front of his face. And Vegeta flinches, but Piccolo doesn't launch the ki blast. This battle's over. They descend back to the ground, with Vegeta powering down. He can't believe it. How did he get so powerful? He can't let this slide. He needs to get ahead of Piccolo. But Piccolo tells Vegeta he's definitely grown stronger too. He could tell there's a significant difference in his strength. And he says had he not defeated Cell and the androids, Vegeta definitely could have done so too. But Vegeta tells him to be quiet. He doesn't want to be patronized. And this fight also helps Piccolo realize how truly strong he is. This strength here, it was overkill. But he has a duty now. He needs to use this power. Not just the power that he was granted from Shenron, but from Kami, the power of the nameless Namekian. He vows to use the strength to its fullest, wanting to use it in the future to help defend everybody. With Kami, the former guardian, as part of him, he owes it to Earth to use his power like this. Not just for himself by training, but by helping allies. He could help them grow stronger too. And speaking of his allies growing stronger, eventually Goku and Gohan exit the Room of Spirit in time, with both of them having unlocked Super Saiyan Grade 4, with Vegeta then going back in, not even questioning Goku and Gohan. He looks over at Piccolo, telling him to come in too. He needs someone to train with him in there. He knows Piccolo is the strongest here. Goku and Gohan recognize that too. And Goku's pretty amazed. He knew that he got stronger in there, and Gohan actually might have even surpassed him. He thinks Gohan's stronger than him too. But just by how Piccolo carries himself and that power that he sensed before, he could tell Piccolo is still above them. Training in the Room of Spirit and Time will definitely help him grow even more. And that reminds Piccolo, oh yeah, while he's in there, he tells Goku, try and find new Namek if you can. Get another Namekian here. They need another set of Dragon Balls. Piccolo can't create another, and if they want one, they're gonna need another Guardian. Goku says that's not an issue, with him going to King Kai trying to find new Namek. A day passes on the outside, with Vegeta and Piccolo then exiting. Vegeta now has Grade 4 of Super Saiyan. Having grown significantly stronger, Piccolo has grown stronger too, and Vegeta's gotten to fight him all he wants. But still, he hasn't surpassed Piccolo. Surprisingly, it seems he surpassed Goku. Having a great training partner like Piccolo really did help, and now that he has Super Saiyan Grade 4, that's definitely a big help. But no matter what he does, he can't get above Piccolo. Piccolo's continuously growing stronger as well, obviously. And Vegeta's focus is now off of Goku. He surpassed him, he knows he could have done it, and he did it. But now, he wants to get ahead of Piccolo. That's his main goal. And surprisingly, a new rivalry begins blooming. And at the same time, Earth now has a new Guardian, with Dende being there. Happy to see the others and happy to see Piccolo. We enter a time skip following this arc. Of course, no villains are going to show up, but there are a couple of important things that happen over this time period. Right from the beginning, as I mentioned, Piccolo and Vegeta have a rivalry now, which is strange, but that's going to change the dynamic of them completely. Vegeta's going to be constantly improving himself. It's not like he wasn't already, but here, he has even more motivation to do so. With Piccolo being Piccolo, he would have trained regardless, but now, with the vow that he made to use the power to its fullest, he does whatever to keep growing. with most of Piccolo's time being spent sparring with Vegeta, training with him in some way. As for Goku's family, Goten's eventually born, and he actually really likes training under Goku a lot. Gohan slacks off for a bit at first, but as you'd probably expect, there's a pretty big change here. Goku's around, and that's definitely a factor. Of course, Gohan's still preoccupied with his studying, but no matter how much he enjoys his peacetime, there's going to be a few different factors encouraging him here. Piccolo would definitely want to see Gohan train, and Goku definitely wants to as well. But there's something even weirder that pushes Gohan to start training again. It's Goten. We kind of saw this in the Buu saga too. He saw how motivated Goten was and how strong he was growing so quickly. And Gohan realizes, Goten might actually surpass him. Well, at least if he's doing nothing here. Same for Trunks. Goten starts training at an even younger age than Gohan did, which is surprising in and of itself because Gohan was already young when he started training. And that's when Gohan realizes he should probably start taking his power more seriously, leading to him eventually unlocking Super Saiyan 2. Although, he's not the first one to get this. Vegeta's actually the first to get it. All the training he's done with Piccolo has really helped. And Vegeta's still the strongest of the Saiyans, although now he has more competition. Goku's training with Gohan again. Both of them are growing significantly stronger. So Vegeta's not only trying to get himself to grow stronger, but he's also trying to get Trunks to grow stronger. He knows he can. He saw the future version of Trunks, and as his son, he expects that. It's a pretty interesting circle of a rivalry going on here. You have Piccolo and Vegeta, you have Vegeta and Goku, you have one kind of between Goku and Gohan, you have Gohan and Piccolo, and then Vegeta, I guess, with Gohan as well because he wants to stay ahead of everybody, and even Gohan and Goten, and then Goten and Trunks, of course. So everybody's basically pushing everybody to grow stronger. So let's give an actual ranking right now. Piccolo's the strongest. That's the whole point of the scenario. You guys knew that. And it's by a significant margin still. Although behind him, we have Vegeta, who's about equal footing with Gohan. Gohan is rapidly catching up, but Vegeta's already pretty far ahead because he's done so much intense training. And this goes without saying, they're both stronger than they were in canon. And then there's Goku, which is a pretty interesting case. He unlocks Super Saiyan 2 later on, and he's not going to get Super Saiyan 3, he's not training in Otherworld. Maybe he would tap into the power, but he'd instantly realize how useless it is. No offense to Super Saiyan 3, I actually really like the form, but come on, you know he's going to see the glaring flaws immediately. And that's if he does get this right away. He's doing less training than normal and it's less intensive because he's not in Otherworld. But I think it's kind of balanced out with him training with Gohan and then occasionally even with Vegeta and Piccolo. He's got good training partners and good abilities. But I would say he's the weakest of the three Saiyans, although not by a huge margin. Just like Gohan, he's starting to catch up really quick, especially once he starts to discover powers beyond Super Saiyan 2. That's what really pushes everybody. But even with the flaws of Super Saiyan 3, when he does learn of it, he doesn't really use it much because of the problems, but at the same time, he wants to work around those problems, see if he could do anything about it. Goku's Goku. He's constantly pushing himself, and that's no different here. Vegeta and Gohan probably have to watch out. Another big thing over this time is the fact that Dende builds another room of spirit in time for Piccolo, removing the limit of the 2 days, because Piccolo would love to train in there more, continuously going in there, not being restricted by his aging, because he's not actually really going to age at all. Namekians can live a while, and I know it's kind of contested, because King Piccolo didn't explicitly wish for eternal youth even though he said he was going to, but in my scenarios I like going with the idea that he did get eternal youth, that was his intention after all, even if he didn't specifically word it that way, and I like applying that to Piccolo too. I also like taking that idea because in Dragon Ball Online it shows that Piccolo can live for really long, seemingly not even really aging too much. Point being, Piccolo could do this and be perfectly fine, especially because this is only going to be like a few extra years right now. Unlike the others, he doesn't really need to worry about aging as much, even if we don't apply the logic of him having eternal youth maybe. I'm just giving him something extra because, you know, Piccolo's the strongest here. We've got to keep him the strongest. Alright, so that's pretty much everything from the time skip, besides the fact that the Great Saiyaman will still happen. Gohan would probably still end up doing that, especially with the great power that he's gained again. He's going to put it towards protecting others. And naturally, there's going to be a tournament that comes up eventually. It's pretty much the same roster, except Android 18's not going to be there. She's dead. Otherwise, pretty much everyone's still there. And Gohan still becomes friends with Videl. Although Mr. Satan's not the same hero that he was because he wasn't involved in the Cell Saga because there was no Cell games. Although he still is world champ and highly regarded. I guess maybe the biggest change is that maybe Satan City wouldn't be called Satan City. But he and Videl are still pretty prolific figures. And the tournament does start differently too, with the main changes beginning once Piccolo starts facing Shin. Piccolo can't even sense his ki and can immediately tell this guy's a godly figure. He almost forfeits, but Shin tells him telepathically, fight him. He doesn't want him to forfeit here. He knows Piccolo could probably even beat him with his power. And Piccolo doesn't even know what to do, but he decides to go with it. The two of them begin to fight, and Shin tells Piccolo, showcase his strength. And Piccolo feels like something's weird here, but okay, well, he does that. He starts powering up. And then he starts to feel like he's frozen in place. Shin sticks his hands out, and Kibito does too. The two of them paralyze Piccolo. Spopovich and Yamu then jump in, trying to steal energy from Piccolo, and they're able to do so, getting a pretty significant chunk of energy. What the hell's going on here? Isn't that guy supposed to be a god? Why is he doing this? Spopovich and Yamu are able to escape, with the others yelling at Shin and Kibito, asking what the hell's going on. Shin says he'll explain later, and Piccolo would really like to know too. Gohan's pretty angered at this. He was actually about to jump in and help Piccolo. Goku and Vegeta are pretty annoyed too, but Shin says to follow them, as they chase Spopovich and Yamu. leaving the tournament in disarray. And for the record, I'm going to say Videl wins the tournament here. Goten and Trunks would try to fight in the Battle Royale part, but they'd end up getting disqualified because they fumble it, revealing that they're actually not supposed to be there. And the final fight is between Videl and Mr. Satan, with Mr. Satan basically winning out of dumb luck, realizing that Videl might have actually surpassed him by now, which is pretty amazing. Not that any of that really matters, but just for the record, worth covering. And with all that going on, we go back to our other protagonists. They find Babidi's spaceship, with Shin and Kibito apologizing for how they went about it. Piccolo says there definitely was a better way to do this, but whatever, they'll stop whatever this threat is. And once they get there, immediately DeBoer jumps out at them, trying to kill somebody. He aims for Kibito, but Kibito actually lives here. Piccolo's able to stop it, instantly powering up, transforming to and getting ready to face DeBoer. Shin tells him to not use too much energy, but Piccolo says it doesn't matter. They already got some energy from him after all. And he's gonna make this fight quick, so quick that they won't be able to get any more energy from him. He looks over at Goku, Gohan, and Vegeta, telling them to go into the spaceship and solve whatever's going on in there. He'll take on DeBoer, alone. And Shin and Kibito question this. Is he actually gonna be able to do that? And Piccolo tells them, it's just like Shin said. He could have beat the Supreme Kai. The Supreme Kai knows his power. Besides, he's not even at his full strength right now. And DeBoer is surprised by this statement. This guy's cocky. There's no way he's gonna be stronger than the great king of the Demon Realm. And Piccolo laughs at this. Demon King? Not really too much of a scary title, considering he proclaimed himself as such a while back. Piccolo says it's quite a flashy name, but the power's not really gonna back it up. And DeBoer won't stand for this disrespect. He's a true Demon King. And Piccolo asks him to prove that. The two begin clashing, as the other three head into the ship, with Shin and Kibito not really knowing what to do, so they just follow along. They have no problem with the others inside. Pui Pui and Yakan are easily defeated. And Babidi realizes he might be screwed. As much as I would love to do a Buu Saga here, just consider the fact that everything going on pretty much prevents it. They probably did get a lot of energy from Piccolo, but not nearly enough to revive Buu. They need way more than that. And as for Piccolo's fight with DeBoer, it's like I mentioned before, DeBoer's not going to win. Piccolo's just so much stronger. He makes the fight relatively quick, actually killing DeBoer pretty quickly too. And maybe Babidi would be able to find out that Vegeta does have some sort of evil within him, but I don't think Vegeta's going to willingly get possessed at this point. Vegeta doesn't really have a reason to turn Majin. He's not behind the other Saiyans, he's on par with them, and he feels like he has ways to grow above them. And his rivalry with Goku and Piccolo is just fine. He could fight them as much as he wants. It's not like in the main story where Goku had one day on Earth where he could test his power out against him. He could do that whenever. There could be a slight possibility of him turning Majin, but I just don't see that happening here. It doesn't seem too likely. And it's not like Babidi could possess anyone else. No one else has enough evil in them, and if anyone did, it would be Piccolo, who definitely wouldn't do that. He's way past his evil phase, and he wouldn't willingly get possessed like Vegeta. So, Babidi is stopped. Buu is almost revived. They almost get enough energy because the amount they stole from Piccolo was just so plentiful, but still not enough. Although that's not to say that nothing comes out of the saga. It's like I said, everyone's grown so much stronger. I already covered that part. But there's also another big change here, something that is vastly going to affect the next arc as well. Shin and Kibito once again apologize for how they went about it, but they're impressed with everyone's strength, especially Piccolo. And Shin actually has an offer for Piccolo. Of course he knows about Piccolo. He was the former guardian here, at least part of him was. Or part of the previous incarnation of him. It's a whole thing, but they know what's going on there. Point being, he made a vow to protect Earth, and he was Earth's guardian at one point. He's a godly figure here. Even Kibito acknowledges that, and they see the great potential in Piccolo. He can make for a great student. Shin sees this offer as a way for them to make up for everything. Not only for how the two Kais helped fumble here, but also the fact that they stopped Majin Buu. Plus, Shin could hear Piccolo thinking about this too. Piccolo did actually consider this. He wanted to ask the Kais if he could train under them. This will be a great way for him to grow, and he acknowledges this too. He accepts the offer, going to train with them. The Saiyans end up staying here on Earth. They can grow here just fine. Plus, they all have their own responsibilities. Vegeta's gonna train Trunks up to be the strongest warrior he can, and stay ahead of these other two Saiyans. Gohan's Gohan, he's got his responsibilities. And Goku's probably not gonna leave either. Unlike with Beerus, they don't have as much of an incentive to leave as they did. They weren't even offered either. They wish Piccolo luck as he goes off to train on the Sacred World of Kais. Shin and Kibito wonder where his power can go next, and they ask Piccolo to showcase his full strength. They saw a glimpse of it against DeBoer, but they want to see his true power. He could power up here, he doesn't need to hold anything back. The planet can handle it. And Piccolo says that's reassuring. He was honestly kind of worried about that. Even with his great ki control, he hasn't really tested out his full strength on Earth. He knows it's volatile, but he shows it off here, going into his power awakened state, charging as much ki as possible. Shin and Kibito are blown back by this, figuratively and literally. This is amazing. They couldn't have expected this power from a mortal, much less a Namekian. They're usually a peaceful species. But here, this Namekian, he's so vastly powerful. It's incredible. Maybe he could even pull the Z-Sword. Shin and Kibito have big plans for him in mind. And with that, we'll leave off here for now. What'd you guys think about this part? What's going to happen next time, especially with Piccolo's new training? Let me know your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think. As usual, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already, especially if you want to see more videos like this or a new part to the series. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.